Everyone, and welcome to this episode of Peace Talks. This is a series where we catch up with the artists and the bands that are coming to play for us at the Marr's Bar in Worcester. And today I'm joined by keyboardist Emily Francis. Hi Emily, thanks for joining us today.
Hi. It's an absolute pleasure.
So Emily will be joining us with her trio on Thursday the 19th of September, a week away from today where we're recording this. I've seen your trio twice now. It was actually Ian Mann who is a wonderful reviewer of our gigs down at the Marr's Bar. He's been coming along for about a year now, I think. And he said, "Oh, you've got to come down to Ross on Wye. I think you like this band." So that's the first time I've been down to the Corn Exchange as well. So I think that was that November last year. I think it was the back end of last year.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And then
that was a really lovely gig as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then I saw you again at Stratford. I think I popped into Stratford Jazz earlier this year, and I think that was when we kind of solidified the booking. I think probably around about then. But yeah, so really excited to have you come and play for us at the Marr's Bar. But let's start with a bit about you, I suppose. Yeah, what's how did you get into music and keyboard specifically? And yeah, let's explore that a bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't really have a choice. No, I'm joking. Basically, when I was 7 years old, it was Christmas. I came downstairs and there was a really big present for me. And you know, when you're a kid and it's like a competition with your siblings, like who's got the biggest presents, and I had the biggest box, and it was just like the most exciting thing. And lo and behold, it was my first keyboard.
Okay.
And I was genuinely really excited about it. I wasn't expecting it. And my dad just said, "Right, you got to practice half an hour every day." And I didn't argue with it. So he got me some lessons. And I think in my dad's mind, because he's a musician as well,
right,
he was probably thinking keyboard players get lots of work.
Right. Okay.
Even at that
was he
age,
a keyboard player? I mean, did that come from experience? Was that?
Yeah, I mean, he always used to say to me, like, good keyboard players will always get work, and he wasn't wrong. I mean, if you're good anyway, you're gonna get more work than others. I'm not suggesting that I'm, the best or whatever, but no, he was always the one that was sort of drumming into me, like, good keyboard players would get work. Make sure you learn all the brass and string lines, and yeah, so a lot of people are surprised when I turn up and say, "Oh, Emily, you've got the sounds for that thing." I was like, "Yeah." So that's thanks to my dad. He was very much the start of all of that. And I learned a little bit differently to most people. So a lot of people, when they start learning an instrument like keyboard or piano, you generally do classical piano. I did also do classical piano, but I did electronic keyboard. So for those of you that have ever owned or have played on one of the kiddies keyboards that have like the rhythm units or the beats and the songs on them, I actually used those properly. I wasn't just like pressing buttons and larking about with them. There's actually a way of using those properly in the playing with the drum beats and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's slightly different to classical piano. So I had a bit of catching up to do when I got to university, because they said your technique's crap, and so but I had this great teacher called Pete Sabaton, who used to teach at Royal Academy as well, and I went to London College of Music, but he was the one that sort of recognized that I had a talent, I suppose, but he was like, you know, your technique needs a bit of work, and he really spent the time sorting me out with regards to those kind of things. So yeah, that's sort of the educational, well, that was sort of fast forward from childhood to university, really. I missed out everything in between. But
there you go.
yeah, there's
Well,
a lot. It depends how deep you want to go into this, I guess.
well, it's yeah, just to get a sort of bit of background. So you're based in London, aren't you? Have you always been in London, or?
Well, I came to study in West London, and then I gradually moved further and further out west. So I actually live in Ascot now,
Right.
or just outside. So yeah, because we couldn't afford to buy a place in London.
It's a bit
Uh,
pricey.
yeah, but I mean it's pricey here too. But yeah, we managed to get our 2-bed flat, which was
Not on Mars.
not on Mars.
A reference that will
But
become clear to people later.
yes, well, we got it, and yeah. So, but actually, looking at moving further and further out west potentially, because I'm a bit bored of people.
Oh,
I
right,
just
okay, I
want,
can
I'm a
understand that.
country
Yeah.
girl. I'm from Dorset originally,
Oh, right.
so I'm very keen to have a bit of rural life
Have
for
you
change
been
of scene.
down? Have you played at the Sound Cellar? The guys down there in
Yeah,
Poole.
many years ago. Yeah,
Right, yeah, yeah.
um,
John and
with
Rob and
another
that.
band, and it would be really lovely to bring the band to well, hometown territory.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice. It's really sad because there used to be some amazing venues in and around that area. There was a venue called Mr. Kip's and Mr. C's, and there was the Central Bar and stuff. When I was growing up, there just seemed to be so many more venues for people
Right.
to play in that scene as well. And the you know, I know it's sort of like a UK wide problem, I suppose, of
Yeah.
venues kind of like closing and everything, which is why people like you are so crucial to the scene. But yeah, I'm sort of lamenting sort of those venues that I used to go and watch all my friends
Mm.
playing at, you know, because it'd be really nice just to go back to there.
Yeah. Well,
And have
Sound Cellar's in Grasshopper Pub now. I guess
yeah,
if you
it's
played, it would have been in the cellar in the
in the
original
Blue
cellar.
Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
that
So
would be
if John Ferguson or Rob Palmer's watching, get Emily booked back down there.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. So, and you've been recently touring with Toyah and Robert Fripp as well.
That's right. Yeah.
What a gig.
Um, yeah, that's been a lot of fun and you know, an amazing opportunity to work with those guys. And to be honest, they're just the most professional people that I've had the pleasure of working with. They're just a very much turn up, do a good job, no
Hmm.
fussing, get on with it, you know, and I love that.
Yeah,
You know, all the nonsense happens on stage, if you know what I mean. You know, it's just like
yeah,
you've got to do what you got to do to um prepare and serve the music, really. You
yeah.
know that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing that.
Excellent. Yeah, because Robert popped in because we had Ian Bellamy came up in April, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, Jeremy Stacey was in the band. So because Rob
Hmm.
was they live just up the road in Pershore, so they popped in for that one. So
I don't
yeah.
know if you spied them at Stratford.
I didn't, it's yeah, because Dion, I commented the other day because she said, yeah, she said they, were talking about the gig you did there. I said it was great when they played. I said, yeah, I was there, and yeah, I didn't see them down there, but I
He
was
was
chatting with
hiding.
Luke Harris was down there, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
So we were going to head off to he was going to the jam over at Bedford Street in Leamington after that, but
Uh-huh.
I ducked out of that. I was too tired.
Well, it's just really lovely to sort of get to know some of the musos in the area because quite a few people came down.
Yeah,
And if anyone's going to come to Worcester, yay, be lovely to
indeed.
see you.
Yeah,
But yeah, just to sort of get to know the guys sort of on that Midland scene was just so nice. And yeah, just for anyone in London, there's a world outside London, by the way.
there is a big
So
world
these,
outside London.
yeah,
There's loads going on up here, actually. Yeah, just I mean,
yeah.
most of it's sort of happening in Birmingham.
Mhm.
Sort of read the regular stuff on there's pretty much. I mean, jazz wise, there's pretty much something every night of the week
Yeah, it's
going
amazing.
on. So yeah, it's really good. Yes, we need to raise the profile of the West Midlands. It's a great place to come and play. I want to talk about your influences. Obviously, Robert Fripp and the prog world. What I really liked, when you released the Atomic EP, you published a playlist on Spotify, the After the Rain Inspiration playlist,
Ah, yes.
and I was looking through that, and there's a Stephen Wilson from the 443 or whatever his album is, yeah, that one there. So yeah, because I, I I used to have bass lessons in the early 90s with Colin Edwin.
Oh,
He
really?
used to live in Hemel Hempstead, and I was in Watford, and I used to go around to it was his mum's house. He had a little room on the side of his one of the rooms in his mum's house, and had bass lessons there. And I didn't know. I guess it must have been just before Porcupine Tree, or they may have got together. And then I stopped lessons with him, and we kind of um, didn't see each other for ages. And then I was back in the music shop in Watford where I'd first been put in touch with him, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, he's in this really successful band, Porcupine Tree." And yeah, so I sort of started digging out some of that, and quite randomly at the same at work, I was playing in the office. I was playing one of their albums, and a friend of mine walked past. He goes, "Is that Porcupine Tree?" I said, "Yeah." I found out my friend was I've been working with for years and years and years, was a massive Porcupine Tree fan. So
Amazing.
anyway, yeah, there we go. So it was good to see some of that connection there. But yeah, what because your music is kind of you call it prog jazz. Yeah,
Mm.
where's it all coming from?
Well, Stephen Wilson and that sort of sound was a big influence on me, certainly when in my late teens. Um, and sort of through osmosis, I guess, it sort of eked out into my composition style. But I think for me, when I'm composing, I'm really thinking about more of a narrative through the composition rather than here's just a riff or here's just a bit of
Hmm.
melody. It's like, where do we start and where do we end? And I think that's very synonymous with progressive music. It's not necessarily you're not necessarily going to end in the same place that you started. Um, so and obviously we're writing with a lot of odd time signatures as well. Not that it's always intentional, but there are those sort of more obvious links to that genre, I
Mm.
suppose. And everything we do is always a musical decision. And I think so, as I've started bringing in sort of more analog synths, and certainly with the Wurlitzer as well, it sort of evokes this kind of real 70s feel about it, but bringing it into the modern day as well. But then initially, I mean, I listen to everything. I don't just listen to prog or jazz or whatever. I'll listen to Americana or whatever. It's like
Mm.
I just listen to everything, and some of those influences start to sort of come out in my writing. And but when I was listening to the mixes for Atomic, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure this is a jazz album or EP rather.
Mm.
And I thought I think we can open this out to the prog audience. And you know, I'm very, very flattered that Prog Magazine have sort of been pushing it as well. And Progzilla Radio, I did a little interview with them the other day. So and they were very insistent that they were like, yeah, that this is right up our alley, you know. When we were writing Don't Forget to Feed the Orchid, for example, about to record it, I've mentioned this live, but Jamie said, oh, it'd be really cool to have this sort of two drummers aspect, or like Genesis vibe going for the solo section. And when he said that, I thought, that's it. That's the sound. This is what that track needs, you know. So I then went away and played around with some sounds, and I, you know, it's not an out and out rip off, but it was definitely a big influence on that particular track. The main title track, Atomic, has got this sort of 60s John Barry-esque soundtrack vibe to it. So that's completely different as well. And I think we just decided we're just going to have fun. We wanted to show people the direction that we were going. We didn't, at the time, we didn't have enough material to record a whole album, but my thinking behind it was the way that music is released now. It's this sort of trickle, single by single thing that people are doing with streaming and everything. So my intention was really just to get more people engaged with the music, try and widen the reach of it. And then we decided to do a physical copy because our fans are amazing and they love buying our merch. So I did that for them, really. And it's been selling really well. So
excellent. Yes, I have my copy here that you sent through with the signed card for Atomic. So that was good. Also, yeah, talking of merch, so we've got the 10th anniversary. I'll do a plug for you. 10th anniversary.
Yeah, I need to take you with
which
me.
I bought at the Corn Exchange, I think, wasn't it? I think I picked those up.
Is that right? Oh yes, you
and it's
bought
clear
vinyl.
Have I given that away? I know you do that as a little surprise.
No, I stopped doing that for a bit, and Jamie's like, Emily, I think you're missing a trick, so I might do it again. Just for
there you go. So that was your debut album, wasn't it? The Absent.
That's right, yeah.
And that's 10th anniversary edition. Did that come out last year? Was that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then you've got Luma as well.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's black vinyl, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's and that was the 2022 album.
That's right.
That has the Kite and the Crow on it. Yeah, fantastic albums, brilliant albums. I really like the Lydian Child was an earworm for several weeks. I was playing that in the car and later, and it reminded me of some of there's I think it was called Snapshots, an album that Jan Hammer did when he was doing a lot of the television stuff. It had a real sort of feel to them. It just reminded me of that when I heard that. But yeah, it's a great tune that people are going to hear probably for the first time, maybe in a week's time. So let's talk about the band then. Who have we got in the band that's coming up?
So other than myself on keys, we've got Trevor Boxall on bass and Jamie Murray on drums. I don't know if Jamie's been to the club before.
I think I'm trying to recall. I think he might have been. I think he might have been billed and was decked. I can't remember now. Because I'm sure when I spoke to you before that he was on one of the maybe it's someone coming up. Yeah. I'm getting older. I forget. He played last.
But I mean, he gets around. That's why I'm asking. So he's sort of playing with everyone and anyone. He was recently out in Brazil with Robin Ford. So even though he just ends up playing with all these amazing people. Trevor, outside of this, he's been working with blues singer called Connor Selby as well. So, and doing a few gigs with myself and Joe Harmon. I don't know if people are familiar with those vocalists, but more on the sort of blues soul Americana side of things. So yeah, we get about. I mean, I've been, as well as Toyah and Robert, I've been working with a singer called Rumour, and who else? A very amazing singer called Leonie Gale.
Mhm.
And there's stuff in the pipeline for next year that I'm not allowed to talk about, so we'll see what happens.
There we go.
But
If people watching, follow Emily on social media, and you'll get first. I'm sure she'll
yeah,
let you all know. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having you play at the Mars Bar. It's a great venue, and we're building up a really great audience from Worcester and the surrounding shires.
amazing.
So it's all good stuff. And do you want to just give a plug of the other, because you got some other gigs coming up this month and next, haven't you?
Yes, thank you. So one after Worcester show is the Crypt in Camberwell, London. That's on the 4th of October. 17th of October is Liverpool, the Music Room, which is part of the Philharmonic Hall. And then on the 18th is the Dorothy Pax in Sheffield. And that's all we've got coming up for now. Who knows what will happen? We've provisionally got some bookings for early next year, but yeah, I'm hoping next year we might see some European dates as well. So
Excellent.
we'll see what happens.
Grand stuff. Excellent. So we'll be keeping an eye open for that. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week, and not much of it left now. I keep Thursday next week, and safe trip up from London, and
Thank you.
we'll see you on Thursday evening.
Amazing. We can't wait and look forward to seeing you all there.
Cool.